You stand to the side.
Hey, why are you laughing?
Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Pathway to Purpose. Why is he laughing?
Why are you laughing?
Different every time. It was. What's up, y'all?
Because you're making me insecure.
Hey, guys. Hey, y'all.
Alvin Adebule will be on the podcast today. I'm happy you're here.
Okay, I'm finished. Look, I got it here.
I would love you to say this side. I was trying to be funny.
Tell you.
That's fine.
It's kind of like, I would love to be down.
It's going forever. I crushed it. Okay. I'm doing this right now. I am doing this. You know what?
I gotta walk over.
You know what? Hold on, wait, no. This is the intro to the podcast. I'm so glad that you're here. Everything you just saw is going in there. I promise you're adding it to. But I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you so much. You're about to listen to an amazing podcast with my good friend Alvin Adebule, and I said the name right because I'm good at that. Listen, before you get into it, make sure I want you to keep on your mind, if you like it, make sure that you share it with someone, because if you get blessed, we want to be a blessing to other people, and we want to grow together as a community. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, and find us on Facebook and Instagram. There'll be quotes on there. There'll be some pictures of me and my guests, and different things throughout the filming process and stuff. So thank you so much for coming, and let's get into it. What's up, Alvin?
What's up, bro?
How you doing, man?
I'm good.
Hey, what's your I'm doing well, sorry. What's your favorite food?
My favorite food, man. Gotta be pizza.
See, I knew I like this dude, I swear.
That's one.
Pizza?
Man. Pizza, bro.
My dude.
My guy.
Legit.
You know, pizza. I never had such a comfort food that you can eat it at any time of the day. I woken up, got it out the fridge, and just eating it cold.
Cold pizza?
Cool with it. I'm not saying that's the best thing for me.
Yeah, it's probably not.
Probably not.
They say it's not.
Yeah.
I eat room temperature pizza. That's also not good, but you know, I don't love it. Yeah. But I'm a pizza connoisseur. Because I used to work at the Marco's.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course you did. We had a conversation last night.
Yep. Yeah. And I've never, there was a point where I was starting to get tired of pizza. Because I ate it every day. Yeah. It was free for me. But no, I love pizza. What's your favorite toppings?
Meat lovers, man. You gotta have the pepperoni.
How does working at Marco's make you a pizza connoisseur?
It doesn't, but.
And then the second question is, why did you only mention Marco's when you work at Domino's too? That's rude.
That's the peanut gallery that you're hearing right now. Not important.
In studio audience.
The in studio audience. I hope she's not talking loud enough to hear the rudeness she said to me. Let's go back. Okay, I'm sorry. I worked at Marco's and Domino's. I got my producer told me to correct that. I don't want to advertise them. I'm probably gonna bleep them out.
Just like that.
I don't know. We'll see.
But their pizza's better than Marco's.
No, it's not.
Ooh.
What is? I don't even want to hear your answer because I know your answer.
Oh no, you want to ask
They
it
don't
now?
know
Go
your
ahead,
answer.
go ahead, let it out, bro. Let's go and put it.
Where's your favorite place to get pizza?
My favorite place to get pizza?
Listen to this crap.
Listen to this crap.
What's your favorite place?
Y'all can tell the way you feel. But Pizza Hut
Oh my gosh.
has the best pizza for me.
No, they don't.
Has the best pizza
For you.
me.
I give you that.
There we go.
See, that's good.
You know, when it comes to that thin crust,
That's
it is
good.
like it's made for me. That thin crust is the best thin crust I've
I don't think
ever
I've had that thin crust now that I think about it.
That's all. Not saying that other people.
Yes, I have.
Okay. So
It's
what
not good.
do you think?
It's not,
Okay.
it's not good.
Well, how about this?
Have you had Marco's thin crust?
Marco's is just third best, maybe. I feel like Papa John's is also better than Marco's.
I do like. You know what?
offense?
I give you that. No, it's no offense to me.
Okay,
I own
okay.
it. If I own a company, I'd be over here like, listen, guys.
Listen.
Everybody needs to go to the Marco's that I own on this street. I don't own Marco's.
Sure.
But Alvin Adebule.
What's up?
That's the name, right?
You got it right, man.
Hey.
And you said it.
Hey.
Man, go ahead, bro.
Thank you.
That's all right.
I mean, I'm getting it, man.
Hey.
How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for
Good.
coming on the Pathway to Purpose podcast, man.
Oh, man. Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
We were talking about this earlier. I asked you to be on it like a year ago,
Yeah.
and life happened,
Life.
and I didn't really know you then,
Yeah.
and got to know you more after later on in life, and now a lot of things have happened, and we'll talk about it more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we'll get into it. A lot has happened since that
Legit.
year.
So let me ask you the same question that I asked everybody else. Can you tell us about a time that you said yes to God?
Yeah. I think we're sitting in it. Me coming down here to Atlanta, I think has been the biggest yes and the most prevalent yes I've said to God. And it hasn't, been what I thought it was going to be, just the journey of getting here, and I think that's just kind of the beauty in it, because this whole time when you're saying a yes to God, you kind of have to put all your faith into what he's saying, because it doesn't always look like what you think it's going to look like,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been my yes. Being down here, being with you guys, being with family, family I didn't even think I needed until I had him. And then it's just been so beautiful. It's been so beautiful to get to know all you guys and to build this relationship with you. Like you said, we didn't know each other really that much. And like, you've been my men's group leader, you've been friends with Phil is my friend. But like, now that we've had that chance to really build that relationship, it's been great, so I'm happy, that we're doing this now, after everything has happened.
I love that, and such a huge thing, because we've talked about moving on the podcast before, but we've never talked about moving with people that you've didn't really know. Because let's be honest, we didn't know each other. I think you met my brother and sister like a month before you made that decision.
I met them in early October. Well,
wow.
I met your brother first time in August.
Okay.
You were still leading the group.
A group. Okay. Yeah.
So that's the first time I met him.
Okay.
And then I met Ray back in October.
And that's a big thing, man. Do you think that would have been easier for you by yourself?
No. It would have been so much harder by myself. I mean, I don't think we were meant to do life by myself. And I know if I was doing this by myself, I would go based off of my own reasoning sometimes. I would think I'm following God sometimes, but then sometimes I need people to steer me in the right direction, or I need people to be around me, because that's what we need, the community. I don't think I'm meant to do this by myself.
Not doing it alone. That's good.
Yeah.
Right. What are you expecting? What has God showed you that is going to happen? Has he showed you anything, or was it just a get up and go?
Well, that is the first thing. It was get up and come down here first. He showed me that this was home. I didn't understand why, but this was home. This is where I was supposed to be. Even being here, it feels like home.
Yeah.
There's some things that I feel like it will be, like with music. Music, I've been saying music, but I feel like that's just one avenue. That's just one part. And I don't know what else really is there. But it's kind of the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. But whatever it is, it's going to be good. Because he's good. So whatever it is to come, I just know it's going to be something amazing. Even if it's just me, I came out here just to mentor somebody. I don't know. Just say that. If that was all it was, that I know it's just for his good. It's for his plan. So if it's that, cool. If it was just here just to talk to somebody, cool. Because that's part of his plan. And he felt it was that important for me to be down here. For all of us to be down here. And if he feels it's that important for me to be down here, then that's cool. I'm here.
One thing that I loved about you is that when I got to know you more a couple months ago, I could see how serious you were about hearing what God told you to do and then doing it. And you were talking about how it never looked like it was normal to the rest of the world, but you did it. There was certain things I need to throw this out because God said so. Was it your mattress or something?
Yeah.
You were sleeping on something. You were like, let me throw this mattress out.
Yeah.
I was like, but I need to sleep here tonight. It's like, I guess not, right? I just throw it out. You hear something from him and then you act on it. And what looks weird to the rest of the world, even if it's most people don't believe in God, we live in a secular world, but what looks weird to some people doesn't look weird to another person. As long as it looks right to you and God, then you're following it, right?
Yeah. Cause that's how it's gonna be. I think this world makes it seem as if you have to follow a certain way of doing things, you know, and I've tried doing that. I've tried to conform to what the world wanted me to do, and it hasn't worked. And I felt more empty and felt more alone than ever until I started to realize when I follow God and when I follow the things that He wants me to do, He's faithful to complete it. Even if it looks stupid, it looks stupid to the world. That doesn't mean it looks stupid to God. And it only looks stupid when you're beginning it. But when something comes to fruition that I think He wants, then it just looks like faith. It's just like you were just keeping the faith the whole time. Like, a lot of things look stupid when you first started. You know, like, think about Bill Gates. You know, think about all these people who started these things that didn't seem like it would come together, but now look at them.
Yeah.
Like, no. Like, I'm going to follow what He says. And not saying it's easy. And not saying I always have, because I haven't. But I think through my own mistakes in life and the things and the choices I've made, where there were times where I made a mistake and was mad at God. He was like, no, like, you wasn't really following Him the way you could have. And like, when you do or try, like, He's faithful to complete what He said. Even when you don't, He still is faithful, you know, to you, because we have grace. And He gives us grace, you know, gift we can never earn, or we can never repay Him for it. You know, think about that. Like, we have something like that, which is so beautiful. So yeah, I want to try because He's God, you know, He's amazing.
I think that's so important to put out, is that, you know, you're not always going to get it right.
Yeah.
Like, we're not always going to hear from God correctly.
Yeah.
But if you feel like you hear from Him and you try, it makes a difference. But also give yourself grace, because he's gonna give you grace.
Sure.
Like you said. So that's beautiful. No, we were talking about earlier, and I kind of want to touch on this. How our God is just so loving, and not forceful. We were talking about other religions, right?
Yeah.
And how we didn't know a whole lot about them. But I was saying that I wish that we weren't so relaxed in our religion.
Yeah.
You know, that we had a set regimen that we do daily, or when we pray, that we give it our all and reverence God the way that He's supposed to. But then you touched on the grace that He gives us in that. Can you open up about that too?
Yeah, man. So I think that the grace that He gives us in being able to go to Him freely as people who aren't perfect, but we don't have to do anything to earn it. Like in other religions, you have to, it seems, do something to earn whatever it is after, right? Mm-hmm. But with our God, like, you could, and you touched on this other day, you can be a person who killed 1,000 people. Not saying, you know, we want somebody to kill 1,000
Please don't
people.
do that. Please don't go out there.
Please don't do that, audience.
Please
We don't want you to do
don't
that.
Kill one.
No, don't kill
anybody.
one. Love your brother and sister.
Please.
We love y'all.
Shut up.
But
Inside joke.
inside joke. Y'all know about it.
Yeah.
But you can be that person, and you can be on death row, and in your heart, because that's what it's about, right? It's God knows your heart. So if you can accept Him into your heart and be like, you are my Lord and Savior. I am a sinner, and I need you. I'm sorry for the things I've done. He will accept you and call you His son or daughter. Come home. I love you. You know, how beautiful is that? That all you have to do is just accept Him. That's all He wants. He just wants a relationship with you. He doesn't want to condemn you. He doesn't want to, like, harm you. Like, correction, yeah. But sometimes we need correction. And I think we see correction as harm, but He just wants to love us. You know, He's a good Father. And that's the thing I love to see. You know, and I think that's, for me, the biggest thing about not just, you know, religion, Christianity, but having a personal relationship with Him. Yeah. And that's different than any other religion I see. Like, they say this and that and third. Like, no. Like, God loves you. He's played. Like, there's nothing you can do. Now, once you've accepted Him, now He lays out what He wants you to do, to live the life that will glorify the things that He wants, that glorify Him. You know, which I think is a continuous thing that we all learn. 'Cause I know I haven't learned it yet, you know, and it'd be something I think I'll continue to try to learn until I die.
Yeah. I grew up in the church and I've loved them my whole life. I remember when I gave my life to them. I remember when I got baptized young. I think I was about 7.
Yeah.
But I got to that point when I was an older man where I was like, I don't know God. And it's sad because you think that you do because you show up every Sunday, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you don't. Like, I don't know who he is. I don't have that relationship. I've been going through the motions.
Yeah.
And it was such a beautiful moment. And I'm glad that I got it when I did, you know? I would have preferred to have got it earlier. I'm just glad that it wasn't later on in life where I was like, I need to have a relationship with him, you know? And that was a big thing.
Yeah.
I need to spend time with him and see him as my father because that's who he is.
Well, that's big though, right?
Yeah.
Like, because you spent that whole time and then you finally realized, but you still got to that point where you're like, I just need you. I really need to know you.
Yeah.
You know?
Not that where I was wrong.
No.
That was just the moment that I was in.
No.
And it just makes it more beautiful that the relationship is stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful, man.
Nothing but Jesus.
Oh.
Hey, can we talk about your music?
Yeah.
Before we talk about your current music, like, can you tell us how you got into music? Like, where did that start? Where was the passion from?
Man. So music, you know, is God's gift, I think, to us. But I think for me, he definitely placed it in my life for a purpose and a reason. When I was younger, you know, I started out 7 playing the violin.
Okay.
You know, 2nd grade, Brockman Montessori School. What's up, Brockman Bears? Woo!
Shout out.
Shout out. But yeah, it started there, and I picked up this violin, didn't understand what it was, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with playing it, and it was so beautiful. And from there, it just kind of grew because then I started to want to know more about music. So I would go to my brother, and you know, he would show me all these old CDs of like these underground rap, like Mos Def and Common and to Lil Kweli, and I would listen to all this stuff, man. But I still was like learning about this orchestral music too. And then my sister, God bless my sister, you know, she would teach me about like the Fray, and, you know, other bands that were kind of out the ordinary, to be honest with you. So like with all those things kind of put together, and just started this thing in me that music was just like, it turned me. It was my safe space. It was a place I can go and just be me and be who I was. So like when I was 13, my brother gave me this old laptop. It had Fruity Loops Studio 7 on it. And well, it called Fruity Loops then. It wasn't FL Studio. It was just Fruity Loops. And I remember making my first beat on it. And the rest is history. I started making beats. I started writing songs. And you know, throughout middle school and high school, I played the cello. So, you know, I still was in orchestra, but I still was learning about this music and started to cultivate my own sound and who I wanted to be in music and just what I wanted to create. How can I put myself into music? Yeah. So, yeah, that's how I kind of started.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good because music is so impactful. Like, that's the thing. It draws people in. I don't think I've met anybody that's like, I don't like music. Yeah. You know, it depending on what you like, it relaxes you. You know, makes you feel good, makes you feel happy when you're feeling sad. But it's so influential, and the words, but not even the words, but even the way that people play instruments can affect the way that somebody feels, and it can affect their mindset. You know, what type of lyrics are you putting in?
Type of lyrics?
Yeah, like how you're like, what's your I guess what's your audience?
My audience?
Yeah.
Well, it's worship, man. So I want to reach out to anybody, whether they believe in God or not.
Come on.
You know,
that's good.
Even if it's one person who doesn't believe and like they hear it and it just God uses that to spark something in them. That's what it's for. You know, it's used for Him. Now, don't get me wrong. When I first started,
it wasn't
worship. Not worship. I'll let y'all know. It was not worship at all.
What was it?
It was secular.
The complete opposite.
It was the complete opposite. It was secular. Yeah. But God was doing the work in me. I could tell because it would seem harder to write secular songs. It was seemed hard. But I remember there was just a time where I would write this song and I was hurting. You know, I was going through a time where, you know, I just got divorced, you know, like I don't have my daughter with me, and I'm writing music to kind of get something out, you know, just I need to get this out. And I was wanting to write something that was kind of sad, but it just turned into a worship song I didn't even think, you know, and I didn't want to call that a worship song, but that's kind of what started to happen. I would write a song that it would seem secular, but then it kind of would get turned into worship.
Yeah,
you know,
like you couldn't write what you used to write.
Yeah,
it just always turned.
It like kind of turned, and then I was like, all right, maybe I just need to focus on writing this. And then it just seemed like God just would give me lyrics. Like, I want you to write this now. Like, write this song. Write this song. You know, but I think it was about giving it to him, because I feel as if I used to hold music to myself. You know, just it's a person with the talents, right? You know, he gave one 5 talents, he gave one 2, he gave one 1, but the one buried it. I was that one burying that thing for a while, you know? I was burying that thing. Nobody was gonna hear it. They're like, why am I supposed to do this? I'm not that good, you know, that's what I would tell myself. I'm not that good, you know, I can't really sing. My beats are kind of mediocre, you know, but it wasn't about that. He kept showing me it's not about that. I don't really care about that. I've given you everything you need, and I've given it to you.
Come on.
So either you put this out, or trust me, it's not like he needs me.
Yeah.
You know, I can find somebody else.
That's right.
You know, so put this out, be obedient. You know, and like he asked me, I'm like, all right, I will. I love doing this. Yeah. So let's just do this. Yeah. And I feel like so much of me has changed from it. You know, so our intimacy has grown so much more because of it, in a way I'd never expected. And it's been such a cool ride to see, and I'm just excited to see what else he does with it. You know, how he glorifies people. Yeah. I mean, how people glorify, you know. Yeah, how people glorify him, and the things he's going to do. You know, that's all I just want to see. Just the things he wants to do with it. You know, how he's going to touch the world with it.
That's big. Yeah. That's big. There was somebody on TikTok that I watched, and they came out with a song. It was the first song that they ever put out, whatever. And in like 3 days, it had like 9 million listens. Man. And it's like, who would have thought? All because they put that one song out. But
on TikTok.
Exactly. Yeah. Like 9 million listens on Spotify. And it's like, you just did that. But if you never do that, nobody's going to hear. And it's not necessarily about how many you get. I mean, obviously it's nice to get 9 million listens. Yeah. But one thing that I told myself when I started the podcast, I'm like, if it's that one person that hears it and it affects them, then I've done what I'm supposed to do. Right. You know? So if you put out that one song and that one person hears it and it affects them positively, it helps them through whatever they are going through. If it does the ultimate thing and leads them to Christ, then you did your job. You know what I mean? Yeah. You did because you heard something from him, you acted on it, and it affected somebody. And that's big for me, because recently I've been hearing more, like the past few weeks, of people that I don't even talk to and may have never talked to, that tell me that I've affected them in some positive way. Young man T, we were talking about today. You said that he respects me. I'm like, I never really talk to T, but you got to be conscious of the decisions that you make, because somebody's always watching.
Somebody's always watching. They're watching what you do, you know, and how you go about things. Not just the words you say, but it's how you live. Yeah. You know, I think it's your biggest testimony. You know, it's how you live and the things that you're going to do. Like, you even taking the stuff to do this podcast, you know, and staying consistent with it and staying obedient to it. You know, when you could have been like, bump this thing. I ain't going to do this.
Yeah, there's a lot of time. Right? There's a lot to there are a lot of moments that I was like, I'm done. I'm just not going to do it.
But you got back up. Yeah. And that's an important thing. You know, and people see that, you know. So don't ever discount that, bro.
Come on.
Like, don't ever discount that, man. I respect you a lot.
I appreciate that. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. It's because, you know, I think what's important is when it gets hard, you don't just turn off. Like, it's so easy to just go back to what was comfortable.
Yeah.
And I was comfortable before not walking in my calling, and learned that, fortunately but unfortunately, God uses your biggest weakness to do something great.
Yeah.
Because when we start looking at what we don't like about ourselves or what we feel like is our weakness, and we start trying to tap into it and pray to God about it and ask Him to help us through it, that's probably what He's going to use, because we're depending on Him. If I do what I'm really good at all the time, I'm good at it. That's me. Like, dang, I'm a beast at this. And every now and then I'd be like, well, thank you, God. But more than likely, I'll be focusing on myself and what I can do.
Yeah.
But He's not going to use that. He's not going to use what you're good at. He'll use it, but He's definitely going to use where you feel like you are deficient, because that's where we turn to Him. And ultimately, we're here to bring everything back to Him. Because if we didn't need Him, he wouldn't be here. Instead, He's here. He created us, and we need Him.
Jeez.
We need Him. Was that a cheese moment?
That was a cheese moment, bro.
I appreciate it.
I needed that.
I might cut that up for the TikTok. I might let people.
Put it on the TikTok for real.
Yeah, that's good.
Dang.
Cut this.
That was off the top of the.
That was straight off the dome, bro. I swear.
Wow.
I don't know. He just be pouring into you. Be pouring into you, like with music. He be pouring in. You write stuff. Like so. What would you say for that person who has an idea, a business, a book idea, writing a movie, a podcast, music? What would you say to them? And they're like, I'm not gonna do it. I don't feel like I'm supposed to do that. I'm gonna just work this 9 to 5, or work this $7.25 an hour, and just do what I'm doing.
I would tell them this. I know what it feels like to be afraid to want to step into something like that, to want to step into success. If that's I can only talk for me, Just know, if you step into the thing that you're afraid of, know that you're never alone. Know that God is with you. And if He's called you to it, He knows you can handle it. He's giving you everything that you need. You don't have to be afraid of it. You don't have to be afraid to start that business. You don't have to be afraid to write that book or to step out into a new adventure if He's called you to it, because He's with you.
Yeah.
It might look scary. It might look like a lot of things, but if He's with you, He's going to do something amazing.
Yeah.
Like, just do it.
Just do it.
That's all I can say. Just do it.
Just do it. Start now.
Start now. Don't start later. Don't start tomorrow.
Yeah.
Start now.
I'm not big on New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
I do believe that God speaks to us about a specific year, and speaks to prophets and things of that nature, and I love that, and I act on it. That was really actually big on me this year, starting 2022. I heard a lot of things from him. But I'm not big on making New Year's resolutions, because I feel like people wait to get to that new year to start everything.
Yeah.
So it'd be like December 17th, and you're waiting until the first comes to start whatever you're going to start, and it still doesn't start on the first.
Yeah.
And you're trying all year to do it, and you're like, but start now. Start right now. Yeah. You know what I mean? It'll make a difference if you put something out now, because that person is probably waiting on it. Yeah. Is supposed to look at it in that moment, but you didn't put it out.
Isn't that so? That's such that weighs on me. If I don't do something that God's told me to do, like, am I holding somebody else from their blessing? Wait, because He only blesses you to bless somebody else. So it's like, I'm definitely holding somebody back from what they're supposed to be doing.
That's scary.
That is scary. Like, that is so scary. And like, I don't want to do that because, all right, it's one thing, like, for me, when I think about myself, people like, whatever, right? Like, I messed that up, or I messed that, whatever. But to say, like, I messed somebody else up, that's a whole different ballgame. Yeah. Like, to me, that's so different.
And it could be more than one person.
It could be more than one person. Most likely it is more than one person.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. Like I'm saying, just start now. And if you fail, that's all right. Get back up.
Come on.
Do it again. If you fail, that's all right. Get back up. Let's do it again. Like, you're probably going to fail. Yeah. And that's okay. Get back up and let's do it again. Because there's something in that you're still going to work. God doesn't waste nothing.
Come on.
At all, you know?
Come on for that. That's a yes. He doesn't waste a thing, does he?
No, he don't waste nothing.
Not one thing.
Not a thing.
That's so good. I want to switch gears real quick and if it's okay with you. Because you touched earlier about your daughter.
Yeah.
Can you explain to us your relationship with your daughter? Because I know that you don't you don't really see her a lot.
Yeah.
I think that can really help a lot of men out there and even women who don't have their children. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Can I start from the beginning?
Please. What's her name?
Celia Michelle Adebule. The most beautiful girl in the world. I know some other dads are going to disagree, and that's okay. You're supposed to fight for your daughter. Guarantee me I'm gonna fight for mine.
Hey.
So, So she was born January 20th, 2017. And me and her mom had got married prior, February 14th, 2016.
Okay.
So I'll start with that, because me and her mom were married when we had her, but we were just on the rocks. So her mom was from Pennsylvania, and I'm from down here. And if I'm just being totally honest, I was in such a dark space when we got married. I really wasn't following God. I was just a pothead and not a good steward of our money.
Wow.
And not understanding what it meant to be a good husband either. So after she got pregnant, she went back to Pennsylvania, and I stayed down here. And through that time, we tried to work on our marriage before Celia came. When Celia did come, I was so overjoyed. She was so beautiful when she came out. She was so gorgeous.
That's what I'm talking
about. But I was afraid. I was so afraid to be a father. I didn't know how to be one. I had seen other men be it, but I still didn't understand it. And I'm still selfish in a lot of ways. So I do move up there after she's born in February of 2017. Me and her mom are still going through problems. It's really me though. It's really the selfish things I have inside, the demons I have inside that I haven't worked through.
Wow.
That I let.
Call them what they are.
Yeah, I just had to call it what it is. I didn't work on that stuff before we got married. I didn't work on that stuff. I truly tried to work on it to save my marriage. So I let all that stuff happen and let that stuff tear my family apart. What the enemy wants anyway.
Come on.
You feel me? So that right there started the whole cycle of me really being there partially in my daughter's life, even though, I talk to her and she knows her dad loves her, but being physically there, it started to be just partially, because I would go see her, maybe once every 3 to 4 months, know, and I think starting off it was like once every 6 months because we were just going through stuff, me and her mom. Yeah. So that was pretty hard because I felt this much guilt. I loved my daughter. I loved her so much, but I just felt like a failure. And I kept telling myself she is better off without me because I'm probably going to screw her up. And I just want to say this. I feel like I really need to. If there's any parent who feels like that, just know they need you. I'm not saying you're in a good space. I understand not being in that space, but they do need you. Make a decision. And it's not just making that decision, but just know, like, you're a dead parent. God gave you them for a purpose. Even though you don't feel like it, you don't understand, they gave you them for a purpose, and just be there and be the best parent that you can. I don't know the situation. My situation, it's like I forced my hand, right? I had so many opportunities to be there for my daughter and I didn't take them, but that's okay because God can use that stuff, and God can use that to change you. So my daughter's about to be 5, because it's what today, January 7th,
coming
January
up soon.
20th, coming up soon. And in that time, as God has been working, our relationship has gotten better. I think when she was a baby, she didn't know all the stuff that was going on. She's 1, 2, 3, and I'm going up to see her. But I'm still, down here doing my own thing. I go up to see her, but I still FaceTime, I send money, whatever, right? Yeah. But to me, the most important thing is just being there. Like truly, it's being there, having that time. And what God has shown me is that you follow me, like I'll show you how to be a father. You know, I'm the best father out there.
Come on.
You know, you follow me, you follow things. I'll show you how to be that father. I know you didn't have a father growing up. That's okay. I gave you her for a purpose and for a reason. You can do this. You can be that father that she needs. So I'm in a space now where, since I am following him more, I don't feel afraid to be her father. I don't feel as if I'm going to jack her up. I feel like he's called me to be this, and I will be it because he says I am.
Come on. Preach that word. I love that. That was so good. He's our father. Yeah. He's our father. You know, my biological father wasn't in the house. Yeah. And I didn't see him as much when I was younger as I wanted to from that young person's mind. I don't know. I might have saw more than I thought. Yeah. But you know, you always have this perception of other families because it seemed like other families just had both parents. And I was like, man, that would be so cool. Yeah. But I don't regret anything that happened. You know, yeah. I still have a good relationship with him. Awesome man. You know. Yeah. And the impact that we have on our kids' lives are so important. But I like how you said that you know that they need you there because money's not everything, but what you can teach them about later on in life is important. Yeah, very important. Very important. How are you? How do you feel? You know, not being around her. It sucks. Not, like every day. Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's super hard because you know I just see her growing into this beautiful woman. Yeah. This beautiful young woman who has a heart of gold, and I know God is going to use to change the world. And it's hard not being there. It's always been hard, you know. And
but your situation doesn't define who you are. You know,
it doesn't define who you are. You know, you have to understand like this time is used for a purpose. Yeah. You know, and this time is used for a purpose. Yeah. You know, and I always think about now because me and Ray were talking about it, like, what if I had her now and she was in a situation like this? So I would not only feel the guilt that I have like not being with her, but I know she's taken care of. Like. Yeah. You know, the grandparents that she has, like, they're amazing. They take care of her. They love her so much. Yeah. And they care for her so much that I know, like, she's fine. But if I had her down here, like, I would feel not only, like, she'll be in a position where, like, she might be struggling. And I'm watching her do that too. Yeah. You know, like, is it easier not to see her and know that she's taken care of? Until I know I'm to that place as well, or to have her and also we put her through stuff that she shouldn't be going through.
That's a big decision.
It is.
Very big decision.
You know, the world might look at it like, you know, like, oh, that's your child, used to be there. And don't get me wrong, I feel like that too. But also I have to be honest, like if I had my child doing some of this stuff, she would have been shown some very toxic stuff. Wow. And she don't deserve that.
Come on.
You know? So it's hard, you know. So yeah, it's hard, but it's right for her. Yeah. She's in the best place right now that she can be, and God knows that too. Because if she wasn't, she would be with me right now. She's in the best place she needs to be.
That's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful, man. I love that. I love the just the love that you have for her. I believe that being a father is an amazing role, and one day I will be one.
Bro, you're gonna be a great father, bro.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Like, man,
well, you know, you worry, you know. Yeah. Like, I can't take care of myself too much right now. I'm doing pretty well actually.
Yeah, you're doing super well, man.
But yeah, like I believe because one, kids are gonna grow up, they're gonna have their own mindset anyway. You know, you can influence them as much as you want. You can try to teach them the correct things. Yeah. But you pray for them and they'll be okay. Yeah. Pray for them and make sure that you do your part. Because if you do your part, it'll all fall in, right?
That's all. You do your part, it'll all fall together.
Yeah.
You know, they saying pray for them. I think prayer is so important. You know, like I didn't always used to pray for my daughter, and that I stopped doing that. Cause I'm setting her up for failure.
Wow.
I know I am. So recently, I have a Bible verse that I do pray over her. It's Proverbs 4:23. You know, just above all, guard your heart. You know, for everything you do flows from it. And I think it's so important because I think when I was younger, I didn't understand it. My grandma used to pray for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't always understand that, you know, what she was doing. But now that I know what's going on and how powerful prayer is and like how we have to guard ourselves and guard our children, like super important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff out here that will attack you.
Yeah.
Demons are real.
Yeah. Demons are real.
People don't want to admit it, but
nah, they're real and they attach themselves to you and you got to fight it.
Yeah.
It's spiritual warfare out here. I ain't always believe in that. It's real.
Prayer is so important, man. I love that we opened up that conversation because, you know, that you don't have to overthink it. You know, there's nothing wrong with sitting down with him and just talking to him. Yeah. And one thing that I recently had to change because I saw that I was getting to a point where I was praying. I was just thanking him for everything. I was like, Lord, thank you for this. Thank you for that. Thank you, which is good. I should definitely thank him. Like he does everything for me.
Yeah.
But I wasn't asking for anything and I wasn't bringing my actual problems to him. I wasn't talking to him about what was going on. You know, every now and then I chime in with hey, can we talk about this? Yeah. But then it was just like, oh, just thank you so much for waking me up this morning. Man, thank you for letting me get that parking spot. Like that parking spot that's a spot right there. You know. Then I get out and there's an old lady walking past me. I was like, oh man. It was important. It was important that I intentionally prayed for different things. And I used to pray selfish prayers. It used to just be all about me. And then I made sure that I prayed for other people as well. But I found myself not bringing him my problems and it wasn't doing anything for me. And so I think it's important to say that when you do pray, like you can just talk to him and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. Because he's not afraid of you. No. He's not afraid of anything, any problem that you have. I wish I could say that his mom, but I heard from somebody else.
I know. So isn't that the beauty of it? Because most of the things we hear, or most of the time from somebody else,
it's always
they're never original.
Yeah.
Well, I think probably anything we say isn't original because it all comes from him. So like we read it from the Bible, it came from him anyway.
That's right.
So most of the stuff we say is real. That doesn't make it not good.
It is so good.
And you use it. I'm talking about.
Hey, he's not afraid of you. If you have a problem, bring it to him. Tell him and be real. I am not condoning yelling at God. I'm not gonna say that you need to be out there yelling at God. But if that's how you feeling, hey, what's happening? Like, can you? I'm not saying he's gonna give you an answer. I'm not saying that if you ask him a question, he's gonna answer that question specifically.
We are definitely not.
Like, show me what's next right now, and he might not do that.
But that doesn't always mean that's a bad thing.
Yeah,
because sometimes silence is an answered prayer. Sometimes you don't need it. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes, he always knows what's best. Mm-hmm. So when it feels like he's not there, he's always there. Mm-hmm. It might feel like he's not talking to you, he's distant. Maybe sometimes we're not listening. Mm-hmm. Maybe he's done told us the same thing over and over. This is what I need you to do. You just didn't want to hear it. Yeah. And listen to it and go with it. You know? Like, I'm sorry. Like, just know it's going to be okay.
It's going to be okay?
It'll be all right.
Man, that was good. Thank you for coming on, man.
Man, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. This means a lot to me, specifically from you, because when we talked, we realized that we were a lot alike. Yes. Like, we have a lot of, our background. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Between marriage and just growing up in life, things that we have been through. Yeah. And it's almost like I'm sitting down with myself and just having a conversation about how I feel. And that means a lot to me. Man, it means a lot that you had me on, just the time I've gotten to know you. Like you said, we are super similar, but to get your perspective and to hear things that you have went through, but how you've handled those things too has been super amazing to hear, man, and to hear your testimony. So, thank you for having me on, and it's been a pleasure being a part of this. Definitely. Oh, before we catch out, is there anything that you want to say to the people listening to The Pathway to Purpose?
This is the number one podcast in the world.
This is the number one.
100% period.
Hey, I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that.
You can take that to the bank and
I listen to another podcast, and they say that they're the number two. I always wonder, what's the number one? Alvin just answered it.
Pathway to Purpose.
Pathway to Purpose podcast. Shout out to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Got it. Don't add that in. Don't add that. You're not gonna add that in. Okay, we'll add it in. We'll add it.
I was trying to figure out why you did it. Yes.
What's up, y'all? You're about to listen.
So sorry. I apologize. No.
No. Oh, okay, well, that's why.
Sit it.
You ready?
And 3, 2, 1. Here.
Hey, y'all. What's going on? That's not fair. Why is he laughing? Why am I funny?
You don't pay me attention.
Can you sit over there? You can leave it on right there. That's fine. Thank you for listening to the Pathway to Purpose podcast. Being able to create a platform for someone to tell their story and also a place for someone to hear it is extremely important to me. I hope you heard something that helps you grow and something that you can pass on to somebody else. Stay tuned for the next episode and check out the Pathway to Purpose Instagram and Facebook to see inspirational quotes to help you on your journey. I also want to give a big shout out to my whole team at Sidney Young Media Group for making this podcast possible. Be blessed, everyone.